of the ring. We've got the makings of what promises to be a tremendous battle here. And things have broken loose all over the place. So world's heavyweight champion Nick Bockwinkel is about to defend his title against the Junkyard Dog, and he won't come into the ring because the Junkyard Dog is carrying with him that dog collar that he wears and the chain with which he has engaged in so many dog collar matches. And now the referee has taken the chain and taken the collar away from Junkyard Dog. So in comes the champion and his manager, Bobby Heenan. The referee in the traditional show and display of the world's heavyweight title belt, the AWA heavyweight title. And there goes the sign of the Junkyard Dog.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to remind you, do not throw anything inside the Coliseum.
Only idiots throw things at any athletic contest. Only mental midgets, people who don't know any better, but you have them in every crowd, and sometimes a paper cup can cause an injury, and we don't want anybody ever injured at a wrestling match, and we don't allow the throwing of anything. It's against the state law and against our judgment. So we start now with the first fall of a 2 out of 3 fall match, and the world's champion Nick Bockwinkel getting a word from Bobby Heenan. Now this is Heenan's first appearance as the manager of Bockwinkel here in the city of Houston. But he has managed Bockwinkel for several years and kept him as the world's heavyweight champion, the king of the AWA. That huge belt that you saw just a while ago is most certainly indicative of the scope of the championship, because the AWA covers a lot of territory and is a highly regarded wrestling organization that is right now governed, or let's say ruled, by the skill of that man inside the ring. His father, Warren Bockwinkel, was a tremendous wrestler. I know that from personal experience. And now as the Junkyard Dog moves in, that power that he has, and believe me, he has a massive amount of power. As he gets hit by Bockwinkel, that same flash of anger comes to him, and he wants to lay it in there. Bockwinkel is smart enough. He didn't get to be champion, nor has he stayed champion by being foolish when somebody was chasing him and wanting to rip his head off. So Nick comes in, and the Junkyard Dog stands ready and waiting. As Bockwinkel comes to grips, you see the power in the, look at those muscles on that Junkyard Dog as they loom way up in the shoulders. You see the fine development of the power, and Bockwinkel has to resort to what looked like a thumb in the eye in order to move him back. But blasting the Junkyard Dog is one thing, and denting him, making an impression on him is another. And as Bockwinkel hauls off and clobbers him, we've got the champion now trying to use the rope, and he does, as a rope snap, and drives Junkyard Dog back. The power comes to the dog, and as he got under him that time, he was able to hurl him in the air and to whip him across the ring. Heenan is complaining. Bobby Heenan, who is known in some circles as the Weasel. Many say because he can weasel his way out of so many tough positions when things are going against them, when Bockwinkel has prospered under Heenan's direction. But here against the dog, he is in the ring, and
ladies and gentlemen, do not throw anything inside the Coliseum.
Notice the struggle for arms there. It's the Junkyard Dog underneath who is coming out of a side headlock by using that arm and applying a Japanese arm lock and forcing it out almost straight. And he got him. He got enough hair that time to turn the leverage against them, and it worked. And Bockwinkel, with that big swing around uppercut, was able to lace into the Junkyard Dog, and now with a front headlock takes him down to the deck and squeezes in there with his coverage of him. Bockwinkel on top, laying his body across him and keeping the pressure on him. Is it a chokehold? Only the referee could tell you that at this point, and so could Junkyard Dog. But he is moving. He is getting into a better position. Remember, it can be a legal chin lock in that position. The 5-minute mark has been reached, and Nick Bockwinkel puts the twist and the turn on the Junkyard Dog's head with that powerful neck of his. And now look at this. There's a 250-pound champion that he is lifting and depositing on the top turnbuckle, and the ultimate gesture of derision. Heenan is hot. He is up there arguing, blaming the referee and shouting about the dog. Now, as the dog moves in, oh, how hard he hit into that turnbuckle. Dog, body slam. Look at the way he handles all of it. Oh, man. This massive capacity crowd here at the Sam Houston Coliseum. This massive crowd, people in every nook and cranny of this huge building, here for this great, great, great world title card. And they have just seen the champion defeated in the first fall of this match. And now we'll be back here in a moment after we have this word from the studio.
3, 2, 1.
There's the bell, and as Heenan is chased out of the ring, it's okay. Heenan is chased out of the ring. The Junkyard Dog gets behind him to use that head of his and to follow up with the place that took most of the pressure on that driving power slam that he used on him. Now a bear hug. The dog using a bear hug. The dog using those strong arms of his. Using the, as the dog comes in and puts the squeeze, he drops the hands just a little bit lower. Gets them lower down around the edges of the ribs and into the small of the back, and works those knuckles up against the spine. And the champion looking longingly and reaching for that rope, but the referee just kicked his hand loose, and again he come up there with that foot and kicked it loose. And Bobby Heenan just got clobbered by referee Nick Kozak. And Nick is absolutely no slouch when it comes to taking care of himself. But Heenan
did not throw anything in the Coliseum.
Now, as Heenan argues and complains against referee Nick Kozak. We see the Junkyard Dog lifting his burden clear of the mat, making sure that he doesn't get any power from putting his feet on the ground. And we could have a fall as Junkyard Dog keeps the pressure there, and Nick Bockwinkel blocks it with the power of his neck muscles in preventing his shoulders from going down to the mat. Reason why wrestlers need strong necks, and most certainly the reason why they have them. So the Dog has lost his advantage, and as the champion comes in with that driving foot, he is still not recovered from the concentrated effect of the powerhouse slam that cost him the first fall. And whoa, his back gave way, and hit close, just two. That powerhouse slam, and then the concentration of the bear hug, and here comes the Dog again, and this time he dropped in there looking to headbutt him into obscurity. And now he goes for the pile driver, and the Junkyard Dog is in trouble. There it is. Junkyard Dog.
313 seconds, world champion Nick Bockwinkel.
Junkyard Dog missed his opportunity to drive that headbutt into the world's heavyweight champion. He hit into the canvas with his face. He was stunned, and before he could do anything about it, he was picked up in the pile driver, dropped on his head, but that's a hold that just doesn't work on the head. It works on the neck and the spinal cord, and the falls are even. The champion has just evened them. The first fall had been taken by the Junkyard Dog. We'll be back here in a moment after we have this word from the studio. 10 seconds left in this rest period. Bobby Heenan trying to hoorah the champion into a victory, and Bockwinkel knows that he's got to follow up and he's got to do something about it. And on top is the champion, and Bockwinkel put forth a major effort that time to make the second fall the basis of his victory in the third. But he can't get him up, and that body drop. And Bockwinkel has dropped and dropped solidly and dropped hard on the canvas. Here is the exchange, and Bockwinkel is maybe making a mistake standing there and exchanging wallops with the Junkyard Dog. The Dog has had considerable boxing experience. He blocked that one beautifully, and he laid in there with the pressure. And now a Mexican slam, and he got him down. But both shoulders are down, both men are down. And the referee is counting for 10. Bockwinkel is up first. The Dog, as he dropped back, took Bockwinkel with him, but he hit that canvas and hit hard. They're fighting now, but Bockwinkel's foot is over the rope. They are struggling now for that superiority that will make one of them come out of that ring champion of the world. And there was a head-on smash, a face-on smash. Each of them coming in there with tremendous speed. The 10 count is what Kozak is itching to use, but when they get into a defensive position, as they are now, he stopped his count. The Dog that time made it tough on Bockwinkel to maneuver in there. And this crowd, this massive capacity crowd screaming for the Junkyard Dog. Oh, man, what a tremendous wallop. What a tremendous wallop. There's the Dog on top. The count is 2. And outside, Heenan is literally going crazy. I have never seen a more emotional manager in my life. He is going through every thing that affects Nick Bockwinkel up in that ring. And there he is. I'll tell you, you of course are not able to see his face. Here is the Junkyard Dog. He has an abdominal stretch. He could force the champion to quit. He is pouring it to him. The crowd is screaming for him to pour it to him. And Heenan is screaming, telling him to go for the ropes. And Bockwinkel is backing toward the ropes at the insistence of Heenan. That's one time Heenan earned his money. He pointed in the direction of the ropes, and Bockwinkel went along with him. Now, with Junkyard Dog tied up, laying it in there solidly. But look at the dog. The dog may be hanging on the ropes, but he's using his head and using it well. And Nick Bockwinkel, from the effects of the headbutt. There's one, there's two, and Nick Bockwinkel just barely crawled out and barely held on to his world's heavyweight belt a little bit longer, but he could, at this moment, be subject to losing it. The challenge of the Junkyard Dog, the headbutt of the Junkyard Dog as he blasts away at Bockwinkel. There's one, there's two, and Bockwinkel again. And look at Heenan. Heenan screaming. Heenan up on his feet with every move and bellowing. And the dog now hanging on to Bockwinkel literally by the ears and blasting him with that headbutt. There again, he laid it in there. There's one, there's two, and out from under comes Nick Bockwinkel, and he makes for the ropes, goes for the security of the count. He needs a respite. Here's the crotch hold, a lift, and down goes Nick Kozak. Looking for the power slam is Junkyard Dog, and we could have it. There's one, there's two, and Nick only counted one. Nick counted one. I think Heenan counted on the other side. I think Heenan slammed the canvas on the other side. Bobby Heenan.
Did not throw anything.
And now Nick Kozak is telling the dog that he did not count, and Heenan is about to get his comeuppance as the dog drags him into the ring. Heenan did not come into the ring willingly, and there has been a disqualification as Bobby Heenan was in the ring. It was the dog who dragged him.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the third fall in the match on disqualification, the Junkyard Dog.
Disqualification. Junkyard Dog has won the match, but he has not won the world's heavyweight title.
Still world champion Nick Bockwinkel.
He has won on a disqualification.
Junkyard Dog is the winner on disqualification. The title cannot change hands on disqualification. Nick Bockwinkel still the champion.
Well, Bobby Heenan was disqualified for coming into the ring. When he did not come into the ring, he was dragged into the ring by the dog. The dog is arguing that there was a 3 count, but the 3 count was done by Heenan. Heenan actually hit the other 2 counts, but the dog wins on a disqualification.